All right. So here we are live once again with another G.I. Joe Classified Series unboxing. And this is Parth, Wolf Spider Varma from the Nightforce sub-team. This is one that's a long time coming. This was a Christmas present that I got last year. Not even this year, last year. He just kind of somehow fell through the cracks. So I'm going to go ahead and open him up today on Christmas, December 25th. 2024. So yeah, it's Christmas Day now officially. So had a really busy couple of days. I had a 12-hour shift on Monday, and then Christmas Eve was Tuesday, and I had two different Christmas functions that I had to attend on Christmas Eve this year, both of which were quite pleasant, and I had a good time at each of them. Got to see my family. Got to see all three of my sisters this Christmas, so that was nice. Most of my nephews and my one niece. Well, I have three nieces now because my sister got married, so I have. There's no such thing as a step niece as far as I'm concerned, so they're just my nieces. Uh, and I had a pretty good Christmas. Spent Christmas Eve with some friends. Had a get together where we ate Chinese food. That's always awesome. And now here I am with you guys, and we're gonna spend a little bit of our Christmas together. How about that? So thanks for stopping by if you did, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And I'm digging around here trying to see if I can find one of two X-Acto knives that I should have over here. One of them, of course, completely disappeared. So we're going to go ahead and open this guy up. This is going to be a fairly G.I. Joe heavy week or so, because I got a lot of G.I. Joe stuff to open. I've got a retro card stalker. I finally got this guy, Big Ben. So, and we got more G.I. Joe stuff on the way. We got a ton of G.I. Joe stuff on the way. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way at least. So here's a look at the back. So we got a picture of the figure and a layout of his accessories, a close-up look at this patch on his arm, which is a spider over a moon. So maybe it's a werewolf spider. Got the helmet, got all that cool stuff. Got a nice portrait of Wolf Spider on the spine of the package. This is figure number 109. I really like this picture of Wolf Spider descending from a helicopter. That's pretty awesome. He's a new character. He's not a character that existed in G.I. Joe when I was a kid. I believe this is the first time we've ever seen Wolf Spider. So let's go ahead and get him opened up. As you can see, it is the older windowless packaging because this is a figure that came out last year. And here he is out of the package so we can get a better look at him. And of course, we have the foot locker with all the accessories in there. So let's go ahead and get that out. We got the paper envelope, the infamous paper envelope. It's kind of hard to believe that I'm still opening up figures that come with these things, but there's a lot of these I just haven't gotten around to picking up yet, and a lot of these that like with Big Ben. When I found Big Ben on the Walmart website the other day, it was the first time I'd ever seen Big Ben for, the retail price. So I was excited about that. I always liked that character. Hopefully I'll like this character since, well, I don't really know anything about him. He doesn't have a file card, does he? Maybe there's some information about him in a comic book or something like that, so I'll have to look him up. So Wolf Spider comes with the same backpack that we've already seen with Lieutenant Falcon, but now it is repainted. He comes with an actual cord, which if you think I'm untying this thing, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. He's got to be really careful about this. He's got this helmet that's got binoculars, but the binoculars actually were inside the helmet. So I'm going to put that together now. Hey there, Zazzle. Merry Christmas. Welcome to the show. Is it still Christmas over there in your part of the world? Because I think in Australia, it's the future. So I'm not sure if it's still Christmas or not. It's barely Christmas over here, so I figure it might. I'm not sure how the time zones work. So the antenna is actually a separate piece, unlike with Falcon, where like it was already on the figure when I bought him. Both versions of Falcon. This one I'm kind of having to fit it in there, and it is a tight fit to get this in here. Let me tell you. It's Christmas Day afternoon. Well, then good. I'm not too late to wish you a Merry Christmas then. I'm glad to hear that. So I was going through my memories on Facebook, and I found a picture of, and I believe it's an Australian Phantom comic, and it was a picture of the Phantom with Santa and a glass of milk. The Phantom was drinking straight out of the bottle, but he's the Phantom, so he can do whatever he wants. But that popped up in my memories. Always like seeing stuff like that. And then we got the big old combat knife that usually comes with Falcon, so we can fit that into the sheath. And again, this never fits into the sheath as tightly as I would like, but I found that this one at least fits in slightly better if you have the blade, like the sharp part of the blade, facing towards the back of the backpack, like that. And it does fit a little more snugly that way. And he has this this sidearm, so that's pretty cool. And then looks like a gas mask with a monocle. The other eye is got some kind of like vented slots over it, so I'm not sure what's up with that. And that looks to be all of his accessories. I did show the shotgun, right? Make sure I show that shotgun. All right, so there we go with that. And even though he's in Nightforce, he does look like he has some almost like tiger strikes on the helmet there. So that's pretty fun. Yellow is a secondary color that pops up on this guy a lot. And that's kind of surprising to me for a Nightforce figure. You would think red would be more appropriate, since we do see red a lot in the Nightforce line. So you know what? This is not my new X-Acto knife. I just noticed this because it's got some schmutz on the blade. So that means I found a third X-Acto knife that was over here, and the other two are still kind of missing. So that's strange. So now we got Wolf Spider out of his package, and it looks like the body of Wolf Spider is mostly a repaint of the Stalker body. No, I think it's actually Dusty, because I noticed he's got like a button-up shirt collar underneath the vest. But it looks like it's mostly a repaint of Dusty. The knee pads are different, and the boots are definitely different. The legs might be the same. Let me compare on this Stalker figure that I already have over here. I think the legs might be different, like all the legs, not just the knee pads and the boots. This might be just different legs altogether. But I'm not sure which legs they're reused. I'm sure they're reused from something, but I'm not sure what they're reused from. And I'm not sure, again, if this is a new head or if it's a repaint of Storm Shadow's head. I would have to compare. Yeah, nothing's worse than a dull blade. I will agree with that. But it wasn't really too dull of a blade. It's just got some stuff on it where I think I was cutting through like some epoxy putty or milliput or something like that. But it's still cut all right. But I'm wondering what happened to those other X-Acto knives that I know I have over here. So I don't see them around anywhere. I do have a tendency to misplace X-Acto knives, which is not a good habit to have. So who knows where they went? It's like, hopefully I don't find those the hard way. You know what I mean? But the arms definitely look like they're reused from Stalker. I'm pretty sure those are the same arms that we've seen before on Stalker. And no, wait, they can't be, because Stalker's got pockets on his arms, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got pockets on his arms. Oh, these are Airborne. Okay. So these arms look like they're from Airborne, because they got the padding. Yeah, they're from Airborne with the padding at the elbows. So yeah. And the legs are not the same as Airborne's, because they've got completely different boots. Because remember, Airborne's boots aren't really bloused. What's your favorite G.I. Joe? That is a good question. Uh, are we going with characters or are we going with figures? My favorite character on the GI Joe team. I really like. Everybody likes Snake Eyes. I really like Snake Eyes. I like Roadblock. I like Scarlet. I like Flint. I like Shockwave. I like Beachhead. A whole bunch of those guys. My favorite villain is almost certainly Cobra Commander because he's just a guy who delights in being evil. He is a pure villain. I do think Destro is maybe a more interesting character than Cobra Commander in some ways, but I like that Cobra Commander revels in his villainy, and I enjoy that an awful lot. But my absolute favorite character in all of G.I. Joe is Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow is my number one. So yeah, I'd have to go with him. And I hesitate to say he's my favorite G.I. Joe member because he was a Cobra originally. And I hesitate to say he's my favorite Cobra because he eventually becomes a G.I. Joe. So I kind of think of Storm Shadow almost as being like in the movie True Romance when the Christian Slater character is talking about Sonny Chiba, and he says he's not so much a good guy or a bad guy as he is a bad motherfucker. And that's that's how I consider Storm Shadow. So yeah, he's probably my favorite. My favorite GI Joe character of all. But there's so many great characters in there. Zazzle says my favorite is Sergeant Slaughter, and I really dig Big Boa and Crocmaster for Cobra. Yeah, those are all some good choices. I like Sergeant Slaughter an awful lot, and he's one that since there was a real guy, a real wrestler that was Sergeant Slaughter, he gave a face to the whole brand for a while. So and he still does cons, and he obviously has a lot of love and affection for the brand still, and a lot of love and affection for us fans. So he seems like a genuinely good guy, Bob Remus. So anyway, going back to Wolf Spider here, the helmet has a strap, like a chin strap, and that seems like it's going to make it kind of tricky to get this helmet on. So I'm going to try to get this helmet on, but I'm going to have to try to stretch the chin strap around the head and not break it. I'm going to take the backpack off. I put the backpack on previously just to see how well it fit, but I think it'll be easier for me to get this on if I don't have the backpack in the way. Come on, just kind of stretch around the head. I'm being very careful of this because I do not want to break that chin strap. I feel like that chin strap is just too important to break. So I'm not sure if this is a reuse of the head from Storm Shadow. It does look kind of like Storm Shadow, but I don't have the figure here to compare with me right now, so I'm going to have to compare later. All right, so there he is. And you can see the binoculars flip down and flip up. And before we get... Am I going to Joe Fest? I'd like to go to Joe Fest one of these days, but what winds up happening is I always forget about it until it's too late for me to request off of work. And honestly, I don't live too far away from Augusta. That's only like a couple of hours drive. Hey, Philip Presley is here. So for those of you who don't know, Phil has been a very good friend of mine since I was in high school. So he is one of my oldest friends. So it's nice to see him come by. Almost never see these things live. Well, I am unpredictable. The only thing for sure about me is that nothing's for sure. So, but yeah, good to see you. So yeah, Phil's been a friend of mine like forever. So he's somebody that I actually know here in the real world. So that's nice. So let's have a look at his articulation. So Wolf Spider can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, his arms rotate all the way around the shoulders, and he does have butterfly joints, so the shoulders move back about that far and forward about that far. He can raise his arms up at the shoulder. Come on, it's kind of sticking a little bit. Well, I'm not going to force the issue, but about that far. We'll just look at that arm. And then, of course, he does have a bicep swivel, so the bicep rotates all the way around. Got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. He's got wrist articulation that rotates all the way around, and it has a vertical hinge on the right hand, so you can move the hand up and down like so. And then on the left hand has a horizontal hinge, so you can move it back and forth like so. He does have torso articulation, like a hinge at the torso, but it's going to be hindered by this vest. Now, like I said, a lot of this stuff is reused from other figures, and this vest originally came with the Cobra Island version of Beachhead. He's got the kind of standard G.I. Joe classified waist articulation, so it can not only rotate all the way around, but you can pretty much just bend him any which way you want to. Bends back about that far, forward about that far. It's almost like an O-ring articulation that we saw in the 80s an awful lot of the times, but not quite 100%. It's a ball and socket, not an actual O-ring. So Wolf Spider can kick up about that far, pretty decent range of motion as far as kicking up. The has a thigh cut, so the thigh rotates all the way around. We got a double jointed knee. That's about the range of motion you get at the knee. He's got a boot cut, so the boot does rotate all the way around. He's got ankle articulation that points down about that far, points up about that far, and it's on a rocker ankle, so it does rotate all the way around. Yeah, he's a pretty cool figure. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out, even though he is Frankenstein together from a lot of parts that we've previously seen. Oh yeah, I'm going to point out also that he's got that drop-down hip articulation. I think I forgot to mention that. But I never mind reuse of parts as long as it's done in a clever and creative way, and it gives us a nice figure like this. Hi, Aunt June. Merry Christmas to you too. So we're getting a good show for Christmas. We're so seeing a lot of people pop up. A lot more people than I would think would pop up at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. On a Christmas day, no less. Now, you know, like Christmas afternoon in Australia. So here he's got the handgun. That's what that looks like in his hand. Fits in his hand pretty well. And I believe this is one we've seen before. It should fit right into this holster on his leg. Boom. Fits in there nice and snugly. I do believe that both this leg holster and this the ammo over here, I believe both of these are reused from the Cobra Island Beachhead as well. So he's a mix of parts of Beachhead and Airborne and Lieutenant Falcon. I think they just kind of grabbed whatever parts they had handy that they thought would look cool on this guy and threw them together. So I already got this helmet on him, and I had to kind of struggle to get this helmet on him. So unfortunately, I forgot about the gas mask. So we're just not gonna. I don't want to have to pull this helmet off of him again. I don't want to take a chance on breaking that strap, trying to take it off or put it back onto him again. So that helmet is on him like forever. I'm never taking it off. So that's how that's gonna stay on there. So let's go ahead, and he doesn't have any kind of knife other than the one that goes into the backpack. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. Even though we've seen this knife before on Falcon a couple of times, but nice big combat knife. So there we go. Put that back in the sheath and make sure that it is facing in there the right way, because I don't want it to fall out. Which way did I say? With the blade facing towards the back. Yeah, it fits in there better with the blade facing towards the back. Does the head pop off easily? That's a good question. I'll actually try to pop the head off. Yeah, it comes off fairly easily. About as easily as it would on most G.I. Joe classified figures. But I'm not gonna take a chance on breaking that strap. So looking at Airborne, it is a different helmet from Airborne, it looks like, which kind of surprises me. I would have figured this would be the same helmet that they used on Airborne, but it actually is not. So how about that? So next we have the shotgun. This is the same shotgun that came with Lieutenant Falcon. Most recently, we saw it with the Nightforce version of Lieutenant Falcon from the 2-pack. So there he is with the shotgun, fits into his hand pretty easily. And it does have this folding stock, but I never really like to mess around with the folding stock because as we see, it comes off really easily. So I'm going to pop it back on, and then I'm going to fold it up. I think they have this facing on there the other way from how I usually have it, which I think this one is technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. And then it all fell apart because the butt of it fell off, and now I don't know where it is. So that's why I don't like to mess around with this shotgun stock too easily, because it does fall apart very easily. Where did it go? Is it still anywhere where I can find it? Or am I going to have to find it later? There's some kind of gun that I found down here. I think that's the one that came with Scarlet that I misplaced. Not Scarlet. It was somebody else. I have no idea where the end of this shotgun is. Oh well, but that's why I don't like to mess around with it too much. So anyway, that's pretty much it for Wolf Spider. He's a pretty impressive figure of a new character that never really existed in any G.I. Joe media that I'd seen before. So I'm pretty sure he was created just for this line. Hopefully somebody will use him in a comic book or something so I can figure out what his personality is, since the characters don't come with file cards anymore. Oh well. So we got more stuff to come as far as G.I. Joe goes, because and it's a lot of Nightforce I got coming up, because I got like I said, I think the next thing I'm going to open up is going to be Big Ben, since we got him to open up, and he's an older figure. And I will have more G.I. Joe stuff on the way, because I've also got this Stalker to open up. And I know that I'd gotten a notification from Big Bad Toy Store that they're expecting to get Starduster in soon, or Skyduster, or whatever he's called now. I don't know what kind of copyright protected name they had to give him, but I got that coming soon. So we're going to have more G.I. Joe. And plus, I've got more DC Multiverse. I've got more Batman 66. I've got more superpowers, because all that stuff came in from my latest haul from Big Bad Toy Store that I've been talking about. I've been waiting a long time on getting that stuff showing up on Pile of Loot. Well, finally, enough of it showed up. I felt justified in ordering it. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure that you like and subscribe. All the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Wolf Spider, both the figure and what we know about the character, which is hardly anything in general. And we'll talk to you next time. Merry Christmas. Bye.